Hi, my name is Wyatt Ayers, and today I'm going to talk about the Irish elk and the species that went extinct. So we're going to jump right into it. This is just like the taxonomic information. It's like species name is Megalosaurus giganteus. It's kind of hard to pronounce. But it's also called the giant deer, and it's kind of known to be like the largest deer that has ever been on the planet in the history of the world. So, its phylum is Chordata, class Mammalia, family Cervida, and it died off like roughly 7,700 years ago. It's very hard to distinguish that. I found a bunch of different dates. Some said that it died 11,000 years ago. So roughly like 10,000 years ago, I would say is the best estimate for that. Anyway, lifestyle, ecology, biology, habitat. As you can see kind of in the picture here, it's quite large. It stands 7 feet tall, and it's roughly the same size as the really big moose that we have kind of in the North United States. But it had the largest antlers of any species deer. These were crazy big. You can kind of just see in the picture. They didn't really like to go in forests a lot. That was kind of like their main avoidance, just because those antlers were so big. It was really hard to walk around and like avoid trees and roots and twines and all that stuff. So they mainly lived in grasslands. And the males battled kind of each other for breeding rights. That was kind of the main deal. Like a male would mate with multiple females, and that's how they would reproduce. And they also used its antlers to defend against predators, which was a big problem for them as far as their downfall and their extinction. But mainly lived on grasslands, avoided forests due to large antlers, and its diet was grass, leaves, stems, herbs, fruit, and shrubs. Kind of all typical grass-fed, just like grass. In the grasslands. This is kind of what they grazed on because it was easiest. They liked to be in open fields. They didn't really like to be in a lot of cover, and for the most part, they didn't really run a whole lot or migrate a whole lot, and that's actually because their antlers are literally just so big. It was really tiring to carry those things around all the time. It was a big problem, but they quickly evolved and stood 7 feet tall, and they were in Eurasia, North America, Russia, Ireland. They were kind of everywhere, which I think is crazy. They didn't kind of stay in one spot. They moved everywhere. So, yeah. Occurrence in the geological period. They evolved during the glacial periods. So this was kind of when the ice was breaking apart. This was causing like a more massive greenhouse gases and climate change and sea levels rises and drops and all that stuff. But they lived during the Pleistocene epoch, and they survived until about 11,000 years ago, but they lived for a couple million years. So there wasn't anything huge that happened during this time. It was just kind of, they were kind of just here and roaming, kind of minding their own business. They weren't like a big nuisance to the planet, basically. They were just, they're just really cool animals. I wish they were still around today. Paleogeography and extinction. No major events occurred during the species' lifetime because they were really only around for 2,000 years. So I guess the main events that occurred during this time were the great glacial changes. This was when like the icebergs were breaking apart and all that type of stuff. And so climate changes, I found like a lot of the sources that I looked at, they all kind of said something different as far as their downfall. But the main one was the climate change. They just couldn't keep up. It was just rising and falling too much, and they weren't able to adapt quickly, so they ended up dying off. But the sea level changed a lot, rise and fall, not like drastically. It's kind of just over time because, again, they were alive for a couple million years. But they were hunted a lot by early humans and by the saber-toothed tiger. But all of these factors right here, as you can see, these were all like possible and all kind of led to the extinction of the Irish elk. Thank you.